This morning when I woke up, I immediately knew which dish I wanted to make. A few months back, we took a family trip to California and stopped by a vegan sushi restaurant called Mockin Vegan Sushi. But because we had never been there before, we didn't really know exactly what to try, and the gentleman that was serving us was really kind and explained what some of the ingredients were and how they were used. And one thing that I remember him mentioning is that they used eggplant in their eel sauce because it gave a really nice umami flavor. That little memory made a light bulb go off in my head where I was like, you know what, let me try and incorporate eggplant into sushi one way or another. So the first thing I did was to steam some medium grain rice. After my rice was done steaming, I seasoned it with rice wine vinegar, salt, and sugar. Then I thinly sliced some cucumber and carrot. Whenever it comes to vegan sushi rolls, I like using vegetables that will add a little bit of a crunch, but not too crunchy. I want there to be a little bit of texture so that you don't just get rice and seaweed. It has to be a little bit more filling than that. So one of my favorite things to add in is shredded jicama in a spicy mayo sauce. And for that, I just use vegenaise and sriracha.
I know exactly when Star falls asleep.
I know, that's why
She immediately starts snoring, like immediately.
By the way, when I bought this bottle of sriracha, I didn't realize it would be the last bottle of this sriracha that I ever bought because it has been so difficult to find nowadays, and now that new versions are coming out, they don't even taste the same. I used a white Casper eggplant because I wanted that mushroom-like flavor to give the dish a little bit more of that umami taste, but I needed to add more depth, so I added some garlic and red pepper from my garden. I also added tamari and miso paste because I wanted the max amount of umami. And to balance out all of those savory notes, I added in sugar and mixed it all together. Then I pan fried the tiny sliced eggplant until it became almost translucent and added in the sauce. After a few minutes, the sauce reduced and absorbed into the eggplant. This completely transformed that eggplant into delicious slices of pure flavor. Now, I'm not the best at rolling by any means, I'm still trying to learn, but a few things that really helped me out is remembering to spread the rice over the rough side of the seaweed and having a container of clean water nearby so that I could dip my utensils or my hands if I needed to stop the rice from sticking to them. Once I had the rice spread out as evenly as possible, I flipped it over to the other side and started adding in all of my toppings. Then I rolled it a little at a time, trying to keep even pressure with both of my hands so that the roll came out nice and tight. And then I laid the eggplant slices over the top, overlapping them slightly so that it would be easier to slice. And I also added saran wrap on top of that to help me with the slicing because I am really bad at that. And it just makes the whole process a lot easier because without it, everything just starts slipping and sliding everywhere. In total, I only made about 2 or 3 rolls with eggplant on them because I didn't realize how much eggplant I would need to cover every single roll. So I made a couple of other colorful ones to go along with them that I hope my kids would also enjoy, just in case the eggplant one was too spicy for them. And once everything was plated up, it was time for the final verdict.
That eggplant one you could.
Yeah?
Did you try one on jalapeno?
Mm-hmm. They're so spicy, but they're so good.
Dude. That one that I just had a massive kick.
The eggplant is so bomb.
I would give the eggplant sushi without the jalapeno slice a 10 out of 10 because all the flavors danced together beautifully on my tongue and tasted perfect. But I would give the eggplant sushi with a jalapeno slice on top an 8 out of 10. And the reason I gave it an 8 out of 10 is because I had already added some of my red garden peppers into the glaze for the eggplant, so that gave it all the kick it needed. And when I added the extra jalapeno slice on top from the garden, it became way too spicy. Usually the peppers that come out of the garden are significantly spicier than the ones that I buy at the store. And then the rest of the sushi rolls, I would give a 7.5 out of 10 because they still tasted really good, but I feel like compared to the one with the eggplant, they're just so plain. So I definitely enjoyed this dish, and it's one that I'm going to keep making over and over again. But now I'm having trouble figuring out what to make tomorrow.